And we are back for another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. I'm your host, Brackin Lambert, alongside my buddy Wes Kerr. Wes, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. It was great to get back to the ballpark after a rainy Saturday. Just a beautiful, absolute beautiful day for baseball here in the Low Country today.
It was. But the weather was great. Not so great on the scoreboard, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's go ahead and bring in our buddy Max, who joined us last week. Max, how's it going, man? Welcome back.
Hey guys. Yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm enjoying this. So
yeah, man. Well, it's been a fun weekend, so we're ready to. It's full swing, man. Spring sports are getting rolling. So
yeah, it's here.
But not a great weekend for USCB Athletics this weekend. A tough one. So we'll talk a little bit about that after we put the bow and send the package off for the year for men and women's basketball. The best part, man, about it was getting 2 conference awards, man. Janiah Hayward picked up Freshman of the Year, Marcus Overstreet Freshman of the Year, and
Hayward rolling to the basket.
There we go. Some highlights from North Georgia. And, man, Janiah had – what a year this girl had. She was absolutely incredible. Wes, you got to be at every home game minus, I think, 1, right?
I think I was covering football like early in the season, but other than that, I was in them all. And Janiah really grew as the year went along and was so important to helping the Sand Sharks go on that 4-game winning streak at the end of the season. And, really excellent shooter that, really found her stroke as the year went on in the shooting department, but just the way she passed the ball, distributed the ball, and showed her leadership and did so many different things well for Sharon Versup's group in this first season. And to see her rack up Freshman of the Year after all that is said and done, and really tough in a deep conference, and that's saying something. She was terrific and really found her groove when they needed to the most. And it was so fun to watch her and this team raise their level of compete as we delved deeper into conference play, and just to see what they did really hit their stride at the end of the year. I think it all goes back to just the improved play of Hayward and the way she kind of directed things offensively and then dug in at times on defense as well. But really such a versatile player who performed so many different tasks really well. And she's got a great knack for, finding timely buckets, whether it's, improving her shooting, like I said, or just making the extra pass or finding the open shooter. Really efficient as this year continued. And I'm just so excited to watch her continue to progress as a player now that she has this full offseason in this program under Sharon Versup. I think it's only going to get better. So to sweep this category, I think is, such an amazing accomplishment. It's the perfect way to put a cherry on top of a memorable first season for both these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was just, she just, like you said, just got better every game. She was the first, she led in every offensive category except for the 3-point numbers. She was just absolutely dominant. She was top 10 in scoring, top 10 in rebounds. So, you get it. And think about this. She also did not play. She played 4 minutes into the Flagler game at home and was knocked out due to injury. I don't want to say injury, she just got a big cut in her face. But she came back, wore a guard the next 2 games and still put up big numbers against Columbus State and Augusta. So, congratulations, Janiah. Man, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And, we've talked about it before, OG Sand Sharks. Man, to have her as an OG is going to be absolutely incredible.
Just to think about the years to come, and then when she's a senior, and we look back on her career as one of the OGs, as one of the original stars on this team, going to be very sentimental when we get there. But just to see where she is now and the picture where she could be 3 full seasons with this team, and to have this full opportunity to get better in the spring and the summer, practicing during those live periods on campus, and it's just so fun to think about the potential of what this team can bring. And then when we talk about the players coming back, I got to talk to Lydia today and over the weekend, and to catch up on her to see how she's doing, and when she comes back, this team could really be a force to be reckoned with in the Peach Belt Conference. So it's really just getting started.
It really is. But that transitions us right into the men's side. Well, here, real quick, lost my train of thought, but the men's side, Marcus Overstreet, he is an absolute force down low, top 10 in scoring, or top, second in the league in scoring, and led the league in rebounds.
As a freshman,
and
as a freshman, yeah,
and he made third team all conference. I know that there were players better, and I'm on this meeting group about it. But man, how Marcus, it's his numbers that just throw me for a loop. 17.6, 11 rebounds per game, averaging a double-double. You've got to explain to me how he's not at least second team all conference. It just kind of grinds my gears a little bit, because you would think that he would be right there. And I know it's voted on by the coaches. And we're a team that only won 3 conference games, so he's not going to get a lot of love for that. But when you're
checks all the other boxes of the top,
the numbers.
I mean, if this was somebody else on another team, they'd be first team all conference. There's no doubt.
Yeah. The numbers he put up, he should have gotten second team for sure. And the fact he's doing this as a freshman too, it means we have 3 more years of seeing him do this. So he's going to have more opportunities to get, all conference teams, and I'm sure he will eventually.
Yeah, and
he's that good. I mean, we got to watch. Well, I didn't get to go to any of the games, but I did watch it on, through the live stream and stuff. I'm watching him. I'm just saying, oh yeah, this dude's special. This dude's something. He's good. He's really good.
That's the perfect word
for
it. Special.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just incredible to watch so early on, and I mean, just beastly. He commands the floor when he's on the court.
Yeah.
As one of the youngest players out there, the size and just the relentlessness and rebounding, and his scoring ability, his clutchness that we saw in those putbacks late in the season. And the crazy thing is just talking about how much room he has for improvement, because I think he can get tons and tons better, and just growing in all aspects of his game. He's already one of the strongest, most efficient rebounders in the conference, and the most productive. And just to think he's going into his sophomore campaign, this league is going to be in trouble when they go up against him, just because of the size that he brings to the court and the way he commands his presence, and just finds a way to fight you for every board and win that battle most of the time. And, certainly there were some times where he left things on the table. The free throw shooting got better as the year went on. I'm sure that's something he'd like to work on, because, when he's getting those rebounds and you get fouled and he still makes you pay for hitting him at the line, I mean, there's no way you can stop that if he can really get the foul shooting. I think he will, and he definitely improved on that as the season went on. But I've talked about many times, just go back to the will that he showed when he had 4 fouls in the quadruple overtime game at home, which was, that really defined the season for me, for Ron Fudala's squad. They had a couple of so many close losses. I mean, they could have been 500. Like, they weren't too far away from being a 500 team, or maybe better in this conference. You just look at those couple of games that got away. But Marcus, without him, I mean, there were a few of those games where they had no business being in it, but because of Marcus and his rebounding, his scoring, his defense, they were right there. Just so in terms of the value to his team, it's incredible how valuable he was and how he will continue to be that prominent point for this USCB squad. They have a lot of depth too, but I think it really all starts with the commanding presence of Overstreet.
Yeah. Shout out to Jerry Young, his comment back up there on the screen. He's right. The future is bright for both of these teams.
100%.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what Coach Ron does. As JJ has told us, a couple of times, you're going to live and die by the portal, and this is the time where you're after spring break, everybody's back, the season's over, and now with the portal, you're going to start. Some people are going to start looking for their options. That may be the case for some. We don't know. But I have some of our student workers have said, hey, let's get Marcus big. They said they want to get him as big as Kev. That's what somebody said. Feed him. That's the thing is feed him, get him big, and keep working out, man. Marcus is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He's in the gym day in and day out. Can't wait to go to the bigs. There you go. But thanks, Ashton. But yeah, man, Marcus has got such a bright future. The entire team really has a bright future. And Wes, like you said, a couple of those games are just minuscule little things. You make a free throw against Aiken at home, you win that game.
And that changes everything, really, if you beat Aiken.
A miracle shot at the end of the Aiken game on the road.
And we saw it happen in the tournament with the 8 seed beating the 1. So I know how close we were to potentially a shot that, but just show you how close the parity of this conference basically is what I'm trying to get to, and the way that USCB has been up against everybody, and they're like every game is pretty much down to the wire. And this is a first year team, first year program, and they're right there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
this is that we're ever going to be. And I truly believe that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Coach Ron does. He hasn't had anybody, tell him anything, and he hasn't gotten anybody new coming in yet. I'm really looking forward to having Dylan Lewis back. My goodness.
Yeah.
Losing Dylan Lewis was a huge blow at Clayton State. In that game at in Morrow all the way until the end, and that was without Dylan because Dylan played 4 minutes and lost, and he was gone. Dylan is a difference maker, not necessarily saying that we win every single game after that, but those games that are close at home, he might be the difference maker. But I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to the women's squad. Holy smokes, man. Lydia back. Lydia got hurt the week of the first game. And that's when she tore her ACL. Sheridan, we lost pretty early, so it was, a little bit easier to deal with that one. Not saying it was a massive blow to begin, but you're down to 11. Then you lose Lydia, you're down to 10. Bartle was out for the first, she was out for most of the preseason, and then she came back against Voorhees. So just, a lot of your upperclassmen, you were playing freshmen. And as Coach Versup said before, Primo by classification as a sophomore, but she didn't get a first half of her time from Georgia Tech. She played her second semester at Oglethorpe. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Audra Hillman, Ellie Lewis, those are the two confirmed right now. I think we got one more who will, when she signs her NIL, will or NLI, sorry. All those words. Name this.
Too many letters.
Letter of intent. But that's going to be the fun part, man. And I'm super stoked for basketball. Wes, you said it Friday. Is it November yet to get it back over there? We're usually craving, some spring baseball and all that kind of stuff. Is it February yet? But man, big things are coming to the Cove. So again, congratulations, Janiyah. Congratulations, Marcus. Hell of a year for both of those kids. as the post said, man, it's only just begun. We're just getting started.
We ain't going nowhere. We're going nowhere.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see how things are going during the spring into the summer, to see how the players are developing with that full-fledged off season we get, and then before you know it, we'll be heading into the fall.
Yeah, I kind of noticed, watching the men's game. I think we talked about this last Sunday briefly. We talked about it. Marcus Overstreet is good, but I think they need another legit big. If you can get another legit big on that team alongside Marcus Overstreet, I think that team is really dangerous, especially if you can get Dylan Lewis back as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. So a full off season with these guys and girls, and another just a great day, or another great time for Sand Shark basketball. Sand Shark or basketball in the Lowco is here to stay. But let's transition over to the Diamond. Tough weekend for the guys out there in Hardyville. Especially coming off a great weekend against 16th ranked Georgia Southwestern. Yes, I can see you shaking your head. It's a tough one. In game one, man, the Bobcats just out hit us. They just found every single hole, hit it exactly where we didn't have anybody. And then we were going downstairs for game two, and I told our kids, I said, it's going to be a slugfest in game two. And sure enough, 16-10, just absolute marathon. We didn't leave Hardyville till 9:30, almost 10 o'clock Friday night. Yeah. So
that's a long game.
But hey, that's a great, those were two. The first game wasn't terrific, but I mean, defense was solid, only had one error, and it was not really that bad. And the offense, they just pitched, man. They pitched and they hit. Did exactly what they were supposed to do. And when you hit them where they aren't, that's where when you hit them where they ain't. It's gonna be nice. But there was no big the big inning happened, but a big inning is classified as three runs or more. So, and then today, defense came back and hurt us. That was a struggle today, but also, you left 9 runners on base.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the part that you have to work on. Is getting those chances. You have those chances. You had the bases loaded twice, and you ground into double plays.
The offense was there. It just didn't finish the job.
Yeah, you're able to get some guys on. I was really impressed by the top of the lineup, especially Seth Robinson. He went 3 for 4, and
he had a good day today. Yeah,
at the one spot, we got spot in line.
He went 6 for 10 for the series, with one ribby and a couple runs scored. So
I mean, if you look at these numbers, I mean, in the game today, Georgia College 13 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. USC Beaufort,
and that's
USC Beaufort, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 4 errors. I mean, hits wise, they were there, but they couldn't finish the job. And then you just made some unfortunate errors on defense.
That first inning was tough. They had a couple guys on. They loaded the bases. Unfortunate double play. So they got runners in the scoring position. They just couldn't capitalize. And then Georgia College just did.
It was because they had a couple times. Yeah, they had a couple times where the bases were loaded, and you strand the base runners with a double play. And stuff like that. It's unfortunate with those errors and stuff like that. But, you got to finish the job. Yeah. When you have runners in scoring position, you got to find ways to get those runners.
That's really what this series came down to the last 2 games. I mean, Georgia College, when they had base runners, they found a way to capitalize off them. And USCB, I mean, at points they did, but especially today, they left a lot on the table. And so disappointing to see the results just on the level that they produced on in terms of the hit column and, the approach at these at-bats. It was a solid day when you look at how they played offensively, big picture, but to not have the results and to see, how close they were to picking up some more runs on offense and just a couple of plays defensively that made it go really sideways. It's, just a few plays sometimes that can turn it out to a ball game. We talked to Justin about that, Justin Jarrett, even at the youth level, and talked about how important it is to to remain solid defensively, and it's just those handful of plays that can swing a ball game. And unfortunately, they all went in the direction of Georgia College this weekend. But I don't think the Sand Sharks are far off, and we saw that by how they did against Georgia Southwestern, taking those two.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you just don't have much room for error against these really good teams.
Yeah.
Against a team that will make you pay. Every time USC made a mistake, Georgia College made them pay this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that was the difference this weekend compared to last weekend. Is the offense is there, but last weekend they were able to finish the job on offense and got those 2 walk-off wins. They finished the job. They didn't strand the runners. They found ways to get those runners in. And this week it just didn't go their way, especially when they had runners in scoring position and stuff like that. So, sometimes it just happens. But, those defensive errors really costed them today a lot. I mean, one of those errors costed 2 runs for them today. So, it's something they're going to work on. And I'm sure they're going to work on it and get better as the season goes on. That like I said, that offense is there. They just need to get over that hump.
On the bright side, though, Carson Tillotson in relief was excellent. 3 1/3 did not.
He did great.
Struck out
he did really well.
Yeah, gave him a chance. He was fantastic.
He's getting his opportunities. He showed it. His first college outing was against, in that 25-1 game against Georgia Southwestern last Friday.
Yeah.
But then he came back in and picked up another, shutdown inning. So, yeah, good for Tilly to get out there and get his time out. When you struggle like that, and you just give up the hits and all that kind of stuff, it kind of taxes your bullpen. And that's what happened today. So, but we got a game Wednesday against Embry-Riddle, old Sun Conference foe, rekindling that old matchup. Justin and I know that game, those 2 series very well from our days back in the Sun Conference. That was before Embry-Riddle made the jump many years ago to D2, and they've still been a solid outing. So the Embry-Riddle game is Wednesday, and then they travel to another tough team in North Georgia.
Yeah,
got to check with their SID on times because they were never posted previously.
Yeah.
So, but that's the weekend series for baseball. Week 4 games this week, so looking forward to seeing how everything goes. And then now we're gonna move over to softball, and not gonna spend too much time because these games against our rival USC Aiken. Man, that's tough. After picking up 2 really big wins against Lees McRae, a pitcher's duel in game 1, Sierra Kinlaw complete game shutout.
Yep.
And then the offense, man, just exploded in game 2.
Yeah, they did.
Seeing those Addie Reynolds continued her hot hitting with another home run. Mackenzie Four got back on the long ball train. So, I mean, those were coming up. Game 1 with Aiken, not too bad. Just have a lot of opportunities.
Just kind of got away from them in the end.
Yeah, and then a 9-0 shutout in game 2. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock, first pitch, and we'll see. I'm assuming we'll see Sierra on the bump. She took the loss in game 1, and then Cassie Brundage started game 2 and lasted just 2/3 of an inning before Abby Ramirez came in and cleaned it up. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be like we said before, this is going to be a tough conference for any team, and especially one who doesn't have, we're still trying to find our spot, find our personality, and we're there. A couple bad calls. We talked last week about it. That series with Lander might go a different way. Lander is one of the top teams in the conference. USC Aiken, same way. Tough teams. So I just look forward to us getting back and, picking up a couple, just picking up, see if we can salvage the series tomorrow, and then see what happens. So
get one and then look what you can do back home. That's important. Find a way to compete and put yourself in a position where you have a chance to take this final game. And if you can win that, coming back home, that's everything. And so where you are in the conference, it's obviously a big one. You want to win it, but at least you want to show that you're right there and have a chance as these games and series progress, because obviously the first game, I mean, there's not much to, be too disappointed about, because, I mean, you played tough, you hung with them pretty much that entire game until late and just couldn't get the timely hits and runs in that ball game. You're gifted a big opportunity, which they capitalized on, but they only scored one, and there's a chance where you could have made that crooked number and scored more. And for an offense that has been so electric at home, certainly you expect a little bit more, but credit to USC and especially the pitcher they threw out there in game one, who was outstanding and did a great job neutralizing those bats. And, now you got to find ways to adjust and see what you do a little differently and go to what you do well as you progress into this final game. So I think they get a shot, and I think it's an important one. Confidence wise, and just for the direction of the season as a whole. But even if you don't get it, you want to make sure that you're playing your best ball, and you give your guys a solid chance. And I assume they'll turn back to Sierra, who's been excellent throughout the season and competed hard in that. I mean, gave them opportunity. It was very tight until that final inning before the sixth inning, and you give a few. But Sierra gave them the opportunity. Now, can the offense find a way to take charge in this final game? And they certainly have it in them. I mean, you just look at the statistics. You look at how well they've played at home, especially. Now, can you bring that same energy to a road game, to a big road game in conference play? So I definitely give them a solid shot at pulling out this last one. So, I expect Cody Eski and this team to find a way to respond. They've been playing so well, been playing incredible at home. The offense has really amped up. Addie Reynolds, player of the week in the conference a year ago. She knows that she has it within her. And, Jaden Goodwin, Devin Weller. I mean, those are the players that you want to see step up. And while we're on the subject, Mackenzie Ford, I mean, just an unbelievable job with her plate discipline. And she just finds a way to get on like almost every time.
Yeah, she's incredible. Incredible with getting on base. It's what Moneyball, man.
Yep.
Billy Bean putting it.
Walks as good as a single.
Yeah, walks. Yep.
So, but not just that's we've got not just the other spring sports are in full swing as well. Was looking over the composite schedule. Women's golf starts at the Low Country Intercollegiate on Friday out on Hilton Head. So that'll be good to see them back again at home. Even though it's not a home event, they are get to sleep in their beds. That's 3 tournaments that have been local.
That's a luxury.
Yeah, a lot of teams like to be here. So softball hosts UVA Wise on Thursday, and then both track and field, men and women's track and field, and golf compete Friday. The Low Country Intercollegiate and the Bob Hayes Invitational. So, everything's full swing again, man.
Yep.
Outdoors first. Yep. They did not compete a couple weeks ago, last weekend at the Savannah State Relays. But yeah, softball at home this weekend with Flagler for another conference series, and baseball on the road in Dahlonega. So,
St. Patty's Day weekend. Let's go.
Hey, let's wear some green, right?
No.
Talked with Quinn about next year when we're playing some March Madness, playing into March for postseason is getting some green shirts with the logo on there. I think those would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
we did that. When I was at St. Francis, we did a green shirt when we played in the NIT tournament.
Nice.
That was cool.
That's a good touch. Love it.
But yeah,
I'm excited for softball to get back home. Those games are always so exciting. Baseball's had a couple of big signature wins. Softball's been close. Be nice for them to get back home. Have that weekday series on Thursday or the doubleheader, and then jump right into another 3-game conference series, 2 on Saturday and then 1 on Sunday to wrap it up. So pumped to see the softball team and the way they've been swinging the bat, and I just think they're due to have some big wins at home. Just looking at how close they've been, they got the big walk-off victory, but they let two of them slip away, 2 2-run games, and then 1 3-run game at the end. But yeah, I mean they've been right there. North Georgia, that last one, really 2 of them against North Georgia, and then all 3 they were in it till the end. They're close to the end against Slander every time. So they got 1 from them. So they're not too far off. This was a tough one just to start off. You still have 1 more, but that Aiken series, you knew rivalry atmosphere. You want to see if you can bring it the extra degree up in this final game to close it out, and I think they will. So pumped to see how that one goes, and I'm excited to see how golf does. Being at home again, that's always, like I said, a luxury. Relish the opportunity to play right here in the Low Country, because you don't get that every day, every tournament, every meet. And then outdoor track and field also getting through indoor wrapped up, and now you take it outdoors and you look to keep going what you've been doing. So that's always fun.
I gotta find a time to get down to a track meet. It's gonna be tough though with this baseball, softball every other. They interchange every weekend, but I'll definitely be out at. I think it's Moss Creek where they're playing the Low Country Intercollegiate. So that's going to be a fun course. I haven't been out there in years, so get out there.
It's a nice course. It's a really good course. That should be fun.
Go see McLean Neal, Ashley Mead, Jess Edwards, and see those girls who have been
especially coming off what was a really good tournament for them last week as well.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see how they do. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's gonna be a short episode tonight. Not a lot to talk about, so we're gonna keep it under an hour, under 40 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. For Wes Kerr, Max Araj, this is Brackin Lambert signing off, and make sure you always keep them fins up. See you guys next time.